Hello and welcome to Algebra 1, Chapter 11.3, and today we're going to discuss multiplying rational expressions. So before we get started, thinking again, what does rational mean? Rational means fraction, and so what we are talking about today is multiplying fractions. Okay, so if I have two fractions, how do you multiply fractions? You multiply straight across. So we'd have A times C over B times D. So knowing those basic fraction rules there will really help you. So let's start out with just monomials everywhere. So we're going to have 7x squared y over 12z cubed times 14z over 49xy to the fourth. So there's two ways to tackle this problem. The first is just multiply. We multiply straight across. So we're going to do 7 times 14, remembering just how to multiply with variables and exponents. So we have 98 x squared yz, because you can multiply unlike terms. That's a 9. Over 12 times 49 is 588 x y to the fourth z cubed. You should always write your variables in alphabetical order. From here, you then have to reduce, because you have to reduce fractions. So 98 actually goes into both of these, and it becomes 1/6. Then if you look at your x's, we're going to have an x on top. You can say the x on the bottom cancels with one of the x's on top, leaving you with an x on the top. You can say the y cancels with one of the y's on the bottom, leaving you with 3 y's on the bottom. And the z on top cancels with one z on the bottom, leaving you with 2 z's on the bottom. So there would be one way to do this problem. And the really only tough part about this way is that you have to reduce 98 over 588. Might be difficult. So the other way you can do this problem is you can reduce before you ever start. So by looking at the original here, I'm going to reduce and go, well, that becomes a 1 and a 7. And that becomes a 6 and a 7. 2 goes into both of those. And the 7s are going to reduce. Okay, 7 over 7 is 1. And one of my x's here reduces with this x here. And this z reduces with one of the z's there. And this y reduces with one of the y's there. It gets to be a little messy, but if you can figure out what you still have, I have an x and a z squared, and a 6 and a y cubed. And so then on top I had an x, on bottom I have a 6y cubed z squared. So either way, pick a way that makes sense to you and do it that way. So the next thing we need to look at is, well, what if we don't have monomials everywhere? Because those sure are nice. So let's look at b plus 3 over 4b minus 12 times b squared minus 4b plus 3 over b squared minus 7b minus 30. All right. You do not want to multiply these together. You can. It's going to be a big mess, and you're not going to be able to simplify it. So do not multiply these together. What you want to do is you want to always reduce before you multiply. So in order to reduce, you have to have things factored. So you need to go through this entire thing and factor everything. So b plus 3 does not factor, so it stays b plus 3. 4b minus 12 has a greatest common factor of 4. You're going to pull the 4 out front and have a b minus 3 times b squared minus 4b plus 3 factors into b and b. And then 3 is 1 and 3. And to multiply to be a positive, they have to have the same signs. To add to be a negative, they both have to be negative. And you can check that. It multiplies to be a positive 3 and adds to be a negative 4. And then b squared minus 7b minus 30 is b and b. Multiplying to be 30, adding to be 7 would be 3 and 10. And negative sign means one of each sign, and I want them to make a negative 7. It's going to be a negative 7 and a positive 3. And you could FOIL that and make sure that that's correct. So once you have this, you can cross out whole factors. So b minus 3 crosses out. b plus 3 crosses out. And when you are done crossing everything out that crosses out, you write what you have left. So on top we have a b minus 1, and on the bottom we have a 4 times b minus 10. That's your answer. There is no need to distribute that 4. You can if you really, really want to, but there is no need to. You just leave it like that, and you're done. So I would like for you to try one on your own. I'd like for you to try n squared minus 16 over n plus 4 times n plus 2 over n squared plus, actually we're going to make that a minus, sorry, minus 8n plus 16. If you would please pause the video, work that out, see if you can do it, and when you press start, we'll talk about the answer. So all I've done so far is just factor it, because I wanted to show you this step before we continued on. And so I factored the top one, and it's a difference of squares, so it's n plus 4 and minus 4. Bottom left, top right, neither of them factor. Bottom right is n minus 4 and minus 4. It's a perfect square trinomial. Once you have everything factored, you're going to cross out whole factors. So n plus 4, n plus 4, n minus 4, and minus 4, and it doesn't matter which n minus 4 you cancel. You write down what's left on top and what is left on the bottom. All right, so by next time when you come to class, I want you to please complete page 592. I want you to do numbers 2, 4, and 6. Have those ready to discuss when you come to class next time. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day. Thanks.